Each and every day, we find several news to believe that the Bangladeshi healthcare industry is overburdened with several problems: vaccine dilemma, politics in vaccine production, distribution, and supply, and the price hike of medical equipment are common problems to mention. As per the statistics of Economic Intelligence Unit, Bangladesh has vaccinated 11% of its total population. The way of vaccinating the remaining population is still unknown. However, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the healthcare industry has boomed and seems to be promising for foreign companies to invest in this 6 million market in Bangladesh. So this presentation is all about the strategic alternatives for Johnson & Johnson to invest in the healthcare industry of Bangladesh. So we are group number 3, and I am Muhammad Masood Rana. My ID is 305. In Bangladesh, the total healthcare expenditure is 3.7% of the total GDP, and the per capita healthcare expenditure is $32. The public expenditure is 37%, whereby the remaining 63% is incurred by the private sector. So let us talk about the company. Johnson & Johnson is one of the global leaders in the global healthcare industry, and it has secured 36th position out of the 500 Fortune companies in 2021. The annual turnover is 80 billion, whereby the operating profit is approximately 15 billion. During 2017, the exact operating profit fell by a significant extent. However, they have overcome the situation, and now they have stabilized their operating profit. So the question is why they should invest in Bangladesh, or why they should invest in Bangladesh healthcare industry. So after analyzing the external factor evaluation metrics, we can see that the opportunities on a scale of 4, the weighted score seems to be 3.35, and for the threats, it's only 2.65. That means the opportunities is higher in Bangladesh economy rather than the threats. So in case of the internal competencies of Johnson & Johnson, we can see that the strength on a scale of 4 is above 3, and the weakness is pretty much lower, which is 2.1. So we can say that Johnson & Johnson company has the strength to seek out the opportunities that prevail in the Bangladeshi economy, whereby elevating the threats and weaknesses that pertains. So that's all about my parts, and the remaining parts will be covered by my group mates. So I would like to invite Robin to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Kausar Ahmed and my ID is 324. As my part, I will describe the business segments and corporate level strategies of Johnson & Johnson. In terms of business segment, Johnson & Johnson has 3 different segments such as pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and consumer health. In terms of pharmaceutical segment, the company has product like immunology, infectious disease. On the other hand, the company has product for medical devices segment like orthopedic surgery, interventional solutions. And finally, the consumer health segment has products such as hand sanitizer, baby care, oral care, skin care, and so on. Moving to the next slide, their corporate level strategies will be licensing and acquisition strategy for pharmaceutical segment. In terms of vaccine, the company will adopt licensing to Incepta, since Incepta is looking for agentship, and if Johnson & Johnson provides licensing to Incepta, it will be easier to capture the market since Incepta has a ready market in Bangladesh. However, for medicine, they will go on acquisition strategy, and since in Bangladesh, around 200 pharmaceuticals are conducting their business, and many of them are not doing well. So through the managerial competencies, Johnson & Johnson will make the acquired company profitable. Finally, for the medical devices and consumer health segment, the company will take greenfield strategy. And since the company is not willing to share their technology and complex productions strategies to others. So this is all from me.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Mohammed Imtiyazul Alam, bearing ID 311. So I will be discussing the business level strategy for Johnson & Johnson. So Johnson & Johnson has 3 business segments. So first of all, for pharmaceutical business in Bangladesh, we will be following differentiation strategy. In differentiation strategy, the company has already introduced the Janssen vaccine, which one dose is enough for preventing COVID-19. So the differentiation strategy will work huge for the company to get the return on investment. Next one is cost leadership strategy for medical devices business in Bangladesh. Medical device business are very costly because the Bangladeshi medical centers and hospitals are not being able to buy the up-to-date medical devices for providing the best service to the patients. That's why the Johnson and Johnson will invest in the medical device business in Bangladesh, which will help the companies and medical centers to get the best medical devices for serving the patients. And last of all, the integrated cost leadership defensive strategy for consumer health business in Bangladesh, which is a hybrid strategy. The hybrid strategy is adopted for providing the service to the both low class and higher class people because the consumer health is already being used by the premium class people of the Bangladesh, but the lower class people are not getting the services, not getting the products because of the high price. So the Johnson and Johnson will focus on both cost leadership and defensive strategy. For example, they will be using the defensive strategy for premium class people and the cost leadership strategy for the lower class people. So following the business level strategy, we'll be discussing the functional strategy. In functional strategy, we will be the Johnson and Johnson will be focusing on economies of scale, bringing innovation and using the experience curve. Economies of scale will be achieved through mass production of vaccines and medicines and medical devices for the mass people of Bangladesh. The economies of scale will be achieved by producing a higher quantity of medical devices and distributing and selling them in different hospitals and medical centers, and then using the experience curve. So the company is having business in all over the world. The experience professional will come in Bangladesh and use the experiences for getting the differentiated product and cost leadership strategy for Johnson and Johnson. And last of all, bringing innovation. As we know, the innovation will help the company to achieve the efficiency and effectiveness. The Johnson and Johnson will focus on innovation through bringing the GIT and green framework. So that's all from my part. Now we'll go for the strategy implementation part, which will be discussed by the Rabia Basri.
Thank you, Imtiaz, for giving me the floor. Hello, everyone. I'm Rabia Bushi, and my ID is 337. Johnson & Johnson basically follows the decentralized form of management system. So the whole strategy implementation plan is the responsibility of the top management of Bangladesh. First of all, they will establish annual objectives, which will be established by top management. Then they will follow some policies like methods and procedures like high technology for achieving economies of scale and experience to workers. They will follow the matrix structure, and if any discrepancy occurs during using this structure, they will alter the structure according to the need of the situation. Then they will revise they will mainly follow the performance-based reward system to motivate employees, and the incentive plans like Summit and My Development will be used as incentive plans to motivate employees for better implementation of strategies. Then they will try to minimize resistance to change by setting up a different leadership and an innovative culture in Bangladesh division. Then they will develop a strategy supporting culture, as Johnson and Johnson always try to follow the learning culture at all of their subsidiaries. Then they will link performance to pay by paying the employees based on their performance. Then comes the next slide, which is organizational structure. Johnson and Johnson will basically follows the matrix organizational forms of structure for Bangladesh division, and beside we can see a triangular form of management system which describe the authority and responsibility of different levels of management, and this is the building blocks of organizational structure for Bangladesh division. And then comes the next slide, which is strategic control system of Johnson and Johnson. For effective controlling system, Johnson and Johnson will basically follows the following steps, which is establishing standards and targets, creation of measuring and monitoring system, comparing actual performance against the established target, evaluation of result, taking necessary actions if required. And this controlling system will basically help the top management of Bangladesh and also the headquarters to continuously monitor and evaluate the strategies. And that's all from my part. Now I will invite our next group member to continue our presentation.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Kaji Alfa Tridoy, ID 309. My part is especially to focus upon communication, corporate governance, and change management aspects of Johnson & Johnson. So if I want to talk about communication, internal and external aspects of communication basically come out of the sketch initially. Two questions I want to answer here. First of all, how Johnson & Johnson can use internal communication mediums for the implementation of strategies. Answer is they can use internal communication to help employees in performing their work, developing a clear sense of organizational mission, and identifying and promptly dealing with potential problems. The second question that I'm going to answer, which is how Johnson & Johnson can utilize external communication for the implementation of strategies. Answer is same. They can use both the formal and informal communication channel through the use of letter, email, web, telephone, or some other ways. We know that efficient external communication is the first step in creating the appropriate brand image, and Johnson & Johnson is very much well out of it. My second part is to talk about corporate governance. Johnson & Johnson has efficient and effective governance policies, which is helpful for ensuring transparency and accountability throughout the organization. Johnson & Johnson's governance is basically governed by the values set forth in its credo in 1943. It is committed to providing a robust disclosure and also committed to implementing best practices. Johnson & Johnson provides extensive disclosure about the board and its practices, including its approach to risk management, which is enterprise risk management in the company's annual statement. This is the final topic, which is the change management process. Business environment is very volatile and dynamic. What is happening today will most likely to change tomorrow. So change is inevitable and organizational managers are expected to behave like a change agents. And Johnson & Johnson is not immune from it. So its methodology for change management includes project planning, communication and alignment, change impact analysis. We can also see organizational design, organizational readiness. So all these things can be efficiently done with the use of ERP system. We all know about ERP system, right? The enterprise resource planning system. So finally, in the conclusion, we can say that as the 2020 was a promising year for the healthcare industry and with the advent of COVID-19, and Bangladesh seemed to be a very lucrative location for targeting South Asian countries. American multinational Johnson & Johnson's decision to expand its operation in Bangladesh would be a great strategic move in the eyes of competitors. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you, sir. I hope you liked it.